History is filled with mysteries that refuse to disappear. Across the world, people continue to report strange creatures, unexplained lights, cursed places, and events that defy logic itself. From the frozen mountains of the Himalayas to the dark waters of Lake Champlain, tonight, we uncover few mysteries that still haunt the world to this day. Welcome to Project Enigmatic.
The legends say Scotland has the Loch Ness Monster, but few people realize America may have its own. Deep beneath the cold, dark waters of Lake Champlain, witnesses for centuries have reported sightings of a massive serpent-like creature lurking below the surface. Locals call it Champ. Some describe it as a giant eel. Others claim it has humps rising from the water like an ancient sea beast. Photographs, sonar readings, and hundreds of eyewitness accounts have kept the mystery alive for decades. But is Champ simply folklore born from fear and imagination? Or could something unknown still be hiding in one of North America's oldest lakes? This is the legend of the Lake Champlain Monster. For centuries, Lake Champlain has been linked to sightings of a mysterious creature known as Champ, with over 300 reported encounters. The legend may trace back to Iroquois tales of giant serpents called Onyere Koa. Although explorer Samuel de Champlain is often credited with the first sighting in 1609, historians believe he actually described a long-nosed garfish. Reports continued through the 1800s, including dramatic accounts from Captain Crum and Sheriff Nathan Mooney, whose claims fueled public fascination. The mystery became so famous that showman P.T. Barnum even offered a reward for capturing the creature.
The mystery surrounding Champ reached a new level in 1977 when Sandra Mancy captured a photograph during a family vacation that appeared to show a long-necked creature rising from Lake Champlain. The image quickly became one of the most famous pieces of evidence linked to the legend. But skeptics pointed out a major problem. The area where the photo was supposedly taken was only about 14 feet deep, making it difficult to imagine a massive creature hiding beneath the surface. Some investigators suggested the object may have been nothing more than a floating log or submerged tree trunk. Another idea was that Champ might be a zeuglodon, a snake-like whale extinct for 20 million years. Or perhaps Champ was simply a lake sturgeon, which have been known to reach 7 feet in length. No matter what it was, ever since the Mancy photograph went public, dozens of eyewitnesses have reported sightings of Champ. Questions deepened when experts discovered the original negative had been discarded, and the exact location of the photograph could no longer be identified, making a full analysis impossible. Decades later, in 2005, two fishermen captured mysterious footage on the lake that some believed showed a plesiosaur-like creature. While forensic analysts found no signs of video tampering, they also admitted there was no clear evidence proving an unknown animal appeared in the footage.
Scientific opinions on Champ remain divided. Some experts argued that photographs, including Walter Tappan's famous image, may have captured nothing more than schools of fish or natural objects in the water. Yet the mystery continues to endure, fueled by the unexplained Mancy photograph and hundreds of eyewitness reports recorded over generations. For Sandra Mancy, however, there was never any doubt. She remained convinced that something extraordinary existed beneath the waters of Lake Champlain, whether it was a monster, an unknown species, or a creature science had yet to identify.
Hidden deep within the hills of Rajasthan lies a ruined fortress so feared that entry after sunset is officially forbidden. Once a thriving city filled with markets, temples, palaces, and thousands of residents, the fort now stands abandoned, silent except for the wind that moves through its broken corridors. Over time, it earned a chilling reputation as one of India's most haunted locations. Built in the late 16th century, the fortress was designed as a massive walled city positioned along important trade routes. At its peak, it flourished with merchants, nobles, dancers, and royal families. But by the early 1800s, the entire settlement had mysteriously collapsed and was left deserted. Historians point to famine, invasions, political instability, and water shortages as possible causes. Local legends, however, tell a far darker story. One legend speaks of a powerful hermit who lived in the hills long before the city was built. According to folklore, he allowed construction on one condition: the shadow of the palace must never touch his sacred meditation ground. As the kingdom expanded, the palace grew taller, and eventually its shadow crossed the forbidden area. Enraged, the hermit cursed the city, declaring it would fall into ruin and never be inhabited again. Soon after, disaster reportedly struck. Crops failed, disease spread, and violent attacks destroyed the once prosperous kingdom.
Locals also whisper of strange events tied to the ruins. Some claim the abandoned marketplace comes alive on certain nights, with the sounds of traders, bells, and distant conversations echoing through the darkness. Others speak of travelers who entered after sunset and were never seen again. Visitors frequently report feelings of being watched, sudden temperature drops, whispers, footsteps, and shadowy figures moving among the ruins. Despite its terrifying reputation, there is no official evidence proving paranormal activity exists there. Archaeologists maintain that nighttime restrictions are enforced for practical reasons. Unstable structures, dangerous wildlife, and poor visibility make the ruins unsafe after dark. Yet the warning signs placed around the site have only strengthened the mystery, convincing many that something sinister still lingers within the fort. Today, the abandoned fortress attracts thousands of visitors every year. Some come searching for ghosts, others come for history. But nearly everyone leaves with the same unsettling feeling, that beneath the silence of the ruins, something unknown may still remain hidden in the shadows.
On the night of September 12, 1997, a strange phenomenon unfolded over the Phoenix metropolitan area. Thousands of residents reported seeing a massive V-shaped light formation streaking across the sky. What began as a local mystery quickly captured national attention, sparking debates about the nature of the event and its implications for science, technology, and public perception.
Residents describe the lights as bright, pulsing, and moving in perfect formation. Some compared the sight to a military exercise, while others speculated about extraterrestrial origins. The event, later dubbed the Phoenix Lights, became one of the most widely documented UFO sightings in modern history.
Experts from the U.S. Air Force and civilian research groups were called in to investigate. Initial reports suggested that the lights were likely a group of military aircraft conducting a training exercise. However, the lack of official confirmation and the sheer scale of the event left many questions unanswered. Geospatial analysis later revealed that the lights followed a precise, coordinated pattern, consistent with a military exercise. Yet the absence of a formal public explanation has fueled decades of speculation. Was it a cover-up, a miscommunication, or simply a rare, unexplained phenomenon? The Phoenix Lights remain a cultural touchstone, symbolizing the intersection of science, mystery, and human curiosity. While the official explanation may have been straightforward, the event's legacy lies in its ability to unite people in wonder, and to remind us that even in an age of advanced technology, the skies can still hold secrets.
Sometimes the most compelling stories are those that defy easy answers. The Phoenix Lights remind us that the unknown is not just a void. It's a space for wonder, inquiry, and the enduring human desire to understand the world above us.
Imagine standing alone in the Himalayas. The wind is howling. Visibility is fading. The nearest village is miles away. Then you notice something unusual in the snow. Footprints. Not bear tracks. Not wolf tracks. Human-like footprints stretching into the frozen wilderness. For centuries, climbers, monks, and local villagers have reported encounters with a mysterious creature said to roam the world's highest mountains. A creature known simply as the Yeti. But is the Yeti a real undiscovered species? A surviving relic from humanity's distant past? Or could there be a simpler explanation hiding behind one of the world's greatest mysteries?
Long before Western explorers ever reached the Himalayas, stories of a mysterious wild being already existed among the people living there. In remote mountain villages, tales were passed down through generations, describing a large, hairy creature that inhabited the high slopes beyond human settlements. Some believed it was a dangerous animal. Others believed it was a guardian spirit of the mountains. Unlike many modern cryptids, the Yeti wasn't invented by newspapers or television. The legend was already deeply embedded in local folklore centuries before the outside world became aware of it. Everything changed in the early 20th century when foreign explorers began entering the Himalayas in search of the world's highest peaks. As reports filtered back to Europe, a local mountain legend was transformed into a global mystery.
The turning point came in 1921. An expedition exploring the slopes of Mount Everest discovered a series of unusual footprints crossing a snowy mountainside. Local guides suggested they belonged to a mysterious creature known in regional folklore. News of the discovery quickly spread across the world. But the most famous evidence would arrive 30 years later. In 1951, mountaineer Eric Shipton photographed a trail of enormous footprints in the snow near Everest. The images were unlike anything people had seen before. The tracks appeared almost human, yet they were far larger than any human footprint. The photographs became international headlines. For many people, this was the first convincing evidence that something unknown might truly be living in the Himalayas. The search for the Yeti had officially begun. Over the following decades, stories continued to emerge. Climbers described seeing dark figures moving across distant ridges. Villagers reported strange screams echoing through valleys at night. Sherpas spoke of finding footprints in locations where no humans should have been. One of the most famous accounts came from legendary mountaineer Reinhold Messner. During an expedition, he claimed to have encountered a large creature in the mountains. The experience stayed with him for years and motivated him to investigate the mystery himself. But the deeper he dug into the evidence, the more complicated the story became. Because despite countless sightings, nobody could produce a body. No skeleton, no fossil, no living specimen. Only stories and footprints. As technology improved, scientists began examining the evidence more carefully. Hair samples allegedly belonging to Yetis were collected from remote regions. Bones stored in monasteries were analyzed. Researchers even obtained genetic samples connected to famous Yeti claims. The results were surprising. The supposed Yeti evidence consistently pointed toward known animals. Most samples matched Himalayan brown bears. Others matched Tibetan bears or common local wildlife. Then, in 2017, researchers conducted one of the most comprehensive DNA investigations ever performed on alleged Yeti material. Again, the evidence led to bears. No unknown species. No hidden ape. No prehistoric survivor.
At least according to the DNA, the Yeti appeared to be an animal science already knew.
Not everyone is convinced the mystery is solved. Some researchers argue that the Himalayas remain one of the least explored environments on Earth. Others suggest that eyewitness reports may point to an undiscovered animal. A few even speculate that ancient human relatives could have survived in isolated regions far longer than expected. But there is a problem. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And so far, that evidence simply doesn't exist. No verified Yeti DNA has ever been discovered. No confirmed remains have ever been found. For now, the scientific case remains firmly against the existence of an unknown Himalayan giant. Perhaps the Yeti is nothing more than a case of mistaken identity, a legend born from encounters with rare mountain bears and transformed through centuries of storytelling. Until definitive evidence is found, the Yeti remains exactly what it has always been,